The Mandela Effect is a real phenomenon described as when a group of people adamantly believe an incident or experience occurred that never did. The Mandela Effect has also shown up in instances regarding how people remember.
Have you ever remembered something so clearly, only to discover that it never happened the way you thought? That is the strange mystery behind the Mandela Effect. And now, Grok AI has been asked to examine it. Experts used Grok AI to explore famous Mandela Effect cases, shared memories, and the theories behind them. What it found has left many people asking even bigger questions about memory, reality, and the digital world. Could millions of people really be remembering the same thing incorrectly? Or is there something we still do not understand about the Mandela Effect? What if Grok AI discovered something nobody expected? Join us to find out. The new Mandela Effects. What if one of the biggest mysteries of the human mind could be explored with the help of artificial intelligence? That is the question many people have been asking as experts use tools like Grok AI to examine the Mandela Effect more closely. The Mandela Effect is a strange and fascinating phenomenon where large groups of people remember something differently from the way it actually happened. It is a shared false memory that continues to confuse both researchers and ordinary people. One of the best-known examples is the famous children's book series. Millions clearly remember it as the Berenstain Bears, but the correct name has always been the Berenstain Bears. Cases like this leave experts wondering why so many people remember the exact same incorrect detail with such confidence. As experts reviewed reports with the help of Grok AI, they traced the story back to where the Mandela Effect first got its name. The term was created in 2009 by Fiona Broome after she attended a conference where she discovered that many people believed Nelson Mandela had passed on in prison during the 1980s. They remembered hearing news reports and even speeches connected to his death. Those memories felt completely real, even though they were not accurate. Nelson Mandela was released from prison, later became the president of South Africa, and passed away in 2013. Fiona Broome was surprised that so many strangers remembered the same event in almost the same way. Curious to understand why, she created a website where people could share similar experiences. As experts looked through thousands of these stories with Grok AI, they found that the Mandela Effect had grown into a worldwide topic. People everywhere began comparing memories and discovering many other examples that seemed just as strange. According to the growing collection of reports, many people believe these shared memory differences have become more common, especially since 2022. New examples continue appearing, making even longtime skeptics stop and think. Older cases like the Berenstain Bears or famous movie lines were only the beginning. Today, a fresh wave of Mandela Effects continues to spread across the internet, leaving millions wondering whether memory can always be trusted. One area that caught the attention of experts was geography. Many people strongly believe South America used to sit almost directly beneath North America. Modern maps clearly place it much farther to the east. Others insist Japan looks different today, saying it appears more curved or shaped differently than they remember. Although maps have not changed, these powerful memories continue to puzzle people and keep the discussion alive. The investigation also examined claims involving the human body. Many people automatically point to the left side of their chest when asked where the heart is located. Medical information shows that the heart sits closer to the center of the chest while leaning slightly toward the left. Floating ribs also surprise many people who say they do not remember ever learning about them. In reality, floating ribs have always been part of normal human anatomy, even if many people do not remember hearing about them before. Experts also reviewed famous company logos that appear again and again in Mandela Effect discussions. Many people insist the Ford logo never had the small curl on the letter F, even though it has been part of the logo for many years. The Fruit of the Loom logo remains another famous example. Countless people remember seeing a cornucopia behind the fruit, but the official logo has never included one. Other familiar names also surprise people. Febreze is spelled with only one first E. Skechers has never included the letter T, and Double Stuff Oreo has always used only one F in the word stuf. The mystery continues with well-known movie lines and famous characters. Many people remember hearing certain words that do not match the original versions today. One example comes from Star Wars. Many remember C-3PO as being completely gold, but in the first movie, one of his legs is silver. Another famous example comes from Forrest Gump. Many people remember the line as, "Life is like a box of chocolates," while the movie actually says, "Life was like a box of chocolates." After examining these shared memories with Grok AI, experts found that the Mandela Effect remains one of the most fascinating mysteries of the human mind, leaving millions still searching for answers. But if these aren't random, who or what then is behind it? Let's find out. The mystery that keeps growing. Many people believe the most surprising part about the Mandela Effect is not that it exists, but that it seems to be appearing more often. New examples seem to show up every few weeks, spreading across social media and getting millions of people talking. Since around 2020, discussions about shared memories have become much more common. Whether it is a famous movie line, a brand name, or a well-known picture, people continue finding things they believe have changed. This growing pattern has made many wonder why these strange memories seem to be increasing. One simple idea points to the internet. Today, people are more connected than ever before. A single post on Reddit, TikTok, or YouTube can reach millions of people in only a short time. Someone shares a memory, and thousands of others suddenly realize they remember the exact same thing. Before the internet, these memories may have stayed private because people had no easy way to compare them with others. Now, one discussion can create worldwide attention almost overnight, making the Mandela Effect seem more common than ever before. Even so, some people believe the internet alone cannot explain everything. They think there may be something much stranger happening behind the scenes. One popular idea suggests that different realities exist at the same time. According to this theory, memories from one reality could somehow cross into another. Instead of your mind making a mistake, it may be remembering information from a different version of reality. While there is no scientific proof for this idea, it remains one of the most talked about explanations because it captures people's imagination. Another idea is called residual evidence. This theory suggests that tiny pieces of old memories somehow remain behind, making people believe reality has changed. These examples often appear in old movies, advertisements, books, or other familiar objects. Supporters believe these small details make the Mandela Effect feel even more convincing because they seem to match the memories that so many people already have. One famous example comes from the classic movie Casablanca. Many people confidently remember the line as "Play it again, Sam." However, those exact words were never spoken in the film. The closest line is "Play it once, Sam." Years later, another movie called Play It Again, Sam helped make the mistaken version even more popular. As more people heard the altered phrase, it slowly became the version many believed was correct. Another example involves Mr. Rogers. Many people remember the famous song beginning with the words, "It is a beautiful day in the neighborhood." In reality, the song starts with, "It is a beautiful day in this neighborhood." The difference is small, but millions remember it differently. A movie released in 2019 also helped strengthen the more familiar version, making the confusion even greater for many viewers. Mr. Monopoly is another surprising example. Many people picture him wearing a monocle because it seems to match his rich appearance. However, the famous character has never worn one. Some believe people mix him up with another well-known mascot, Mr. Peanut, who does wear a monocle. A comedy movie also joked about the Monopoly character wearing one, making the false memory even stronger for many people.
You might remember a popular peanut butter brand as Jiffy, but here's the twist: it's always been Jif. Launched in 1958 after a rebrand from Big Top Peanut Butter,
Peanut butter has also become part of the Mandela Effect. Countless people remember a brand called Jiffy Peanut Butter. However, no such product has ever existed. The correct name has always been Jif. Experts believe people may accidentally combine the names of Jif, Jiffy Pop, and Jiffy Lube, creating a memory that feels completely real, even though it never existed. Curious George creates another interesting memory. Many people clearly remember the friendly little monkey having a long tail. The surprising truth is that Curious George has always been shown without one. Since most people expect monkeys to have tails, their minds naturally fill in the missing detail. Over time, that expectation becomes a memory that feels completely accurate. The breakfast cereal Fruit Loops also catches many people by surprise. Many remember it as Fruit Loops because that spelling seems more natural. However, the cereal has always used the playful spelling Fruit Loops. The unusual name makes it easy for people to remember it differently, adding another famous example to the growing list of Mandela effects. Some people even point to old tapes, books, or product labels that seem different from what they remember today. These objects make the discussion even more interesting because they appear to support memories that many people share. Others believe these differences simply show how powerful human memory can be. New Mandela Effect theories. For many years, most people believed the Mandela Effect had a simple explanation. They said it was only a trick of the human mind. According to this idea, people sometimes remember things the wrong way. When they hear other people sharing the same memory, it becomes even stronger. Before long, thousands or even millions of people can believe the exact same thing, even if it never happened. To many scientists and skeptics, this is still the most likely explanation. But in recent years, new theories have started to appear. These ideas do not focus only on memory. Instead, they ask much bigger questions. Could reality itself be changing? Could history look different from what it once was? Could there be something happening that we simply do not understand yet? There is no proof that any of these ideas are true, but they have made the Mandela Effect even more fascinating than before. One of the most talked about ideas is called the timeline editing theory. This theory suggests that reality may not be as fixed as we think. Instead of history being completely erased, it could be changing little by little, almost like someone quietly editing a document. Tiny details may be adjusted while everything else stays the same. Because the changes are so small, most people would never notice them. Supporters of this theory believe someone or something could be responsible for these changes. Some imagine that future humans have found a way to reach into the past. Others think a hidden organization could be testing how people react when familiar details suddenly seem different. These ideas may sound like science fiction, and there is no evidence to support them. But they continue to capture people's imagination because they offer a completely different way of thinking about the Mandela Effect. Another popular theory focuses on artificial intelligence. Today, artificial intelligence helps organize huge amounts of information. It sorts search results, recommends content, and works with enormous collections of digital records. Because so much of modern life depends on computers, some people wonder if changing digital information could slowly change the way people remember the past. This idea does not say that history itself is changing. Instead, it asks whether people might begin trusting digital records more than their own memories. As information online is updated and reorganized over time, some wonder if people could slowly accept a different version of events without even realizing it. Whether this is happening or not, the question has become an important part of the Mandela Effect discussion.
Scientists at the University of Chicago described the Mandela Effect as, quote, an internet phenomenon describing shared and consistent false memories for specific icons in popular culture.
Another theory comes from quantum physics. According to this idea, many different realities could exist at the same time. Most people have heard this described as the multiverse. Supporters believe that these different realities may occasionally overlap with each other. If that happened, some people could remember events from another version of reality instead of the one they are living in now. This idea is one of the most exciting theories because it seems to explain why large groups of people remember the same unusual details. However, there is an important problem. No one has been able to test or prove that these other realities exist. At the moment, the idea remains a possibility rather than an accepted scientific explanation. Even so, many people enjoy exploring it because it adds a sense of mystery to everyday life. There is also a theory called quantum consciousness. Some researchers have suggested that human consciousness may be connected to quantum processes in ways that science has not fully understood. According to this idea, our awareness could become more sensitive over time, allowing some people to notice memories that seem connected to another version of reality. Many people compare this idea to tuning an old radio. Most of the time, you hear one clear station, but every now and then, another signal briefly appears before disappearing again. Supporters believe the Mandela Effect could work in a similar way, with people occasionally noticing memories that do not seem to belong to the reality around them. Once again, this idea has not been proven, but it continues to attract attention because of its unique way of explaining shared memories. But how has the internet contributed to this changing effect? Stick around. Can we still trust what we see online? Imagine waking up one morning with a crystal-clear memory of reading a famous quote in your school textbook. You remember the page, the words, and even where it appeared. But when experts asked Grok AI to investigate the Mandela Effect and searched through digital records, the quote could not be found anywhere. Search engines, online encyclopedias, and digital archives all showed the same result. It was as if the quote had never existed, yet the memory still felt completely real. Moments like this have become one of the biggest mysteries of the Mandela Effect in today's digital world. As experts continued using Grok AI to examine thousands of Mandela Effect reports, one thing became very clear. The internet has completely changed the way people remember the past. Instead of depending only on books or personal experiences, millions now search online whenever they want to check a memory. Because information spreads so quickly, even a small mistake can reach people all over the world within hours. As more people repeat the same incorrect detail, it slowly begins to feel true. Before long, what started as a simple misunderstanding can become a memory shared by millions. The investigation also looked at how quickly false information spreads online. Experts reviewed research showing that a large study of more than 100,000 news stories shared across social media during a period of 10 years found that false stories spread much faster than true ones. In many cases, ordinary people shared incorrect information again and again, allowing it to travel farther than the truth. After reviewing these findings with Grok AI, experts believed this could help explain why so many people end up remembering the same incorrect details. The more reports they examined, the more they noticed another interesting pattern. Every time someone shares a memory online, it has the power to influence someone else. People read comments, watch videos, and join discussions, then slowly connect their own memories with ideas they may never have remembered before. As these conversations continue, memories can gradually change. The result is a shared memory that feels completely real, even when it does not match recorded history. One example that caught the attention of experts involved the actor Sinbad. Many people strongly believe he starred in a movie called Shazam during the 1990s. However, Grok AI found that no such movie was ever made. Sinbad did appear in other movies during that time, including one with a poster showing him coming out of a mailbox. He also dressed as a genie during a special event. Experts believe these separate memories may have blended together, and once people began talking about the imaginary movie online, the story spread until countless people accepted it as real. The investigation also explored how the digital age has changed the way people trust their own memories. Today, when a search engine cannot find something, many people immediately assume they must be mistaken. But others ask a different question. Could digital information itself change over time? As experts explored this possibility with Grok AI, they found that this question has become one of the biggest discussions surrounding the Mandela Effect. Is the memory incorrect, or are people placing too much trust in constantly changing digital records? Modern technology makes this mystery even more interesting. Search engines decide which information appears first. Online articles can be updated, and digital records are constantly changing. Artificial intelligence also works with enormous collections of information that continue to grow every day. As experts reviewed these systems with Grok AI, they noted that more of human knowledge now exists in digital form than ever before. This has led many people to wonder how reliable these records will remain in the future. The investigation also examined the growing impact of deepfake technology. Today, pictures, videos, and even television broadcasts can be altered so well that they appear completely real. As these tools continue to improve, experts believe it may become even harder to separate genuine history from convincing digital creations. This raises important questions about how future generations will know what truly happened. But is there still physical proof that reality shifted? Stay with us. Is physical evidence pointing to something bigger? If reality is truly changing, Many people believe something should be left behind. They argue that if the past has somehow shifted, there should be small pieces of evidence that escape the change. These clues are often called Mandela Effect residue. Supporters describe them as physical objects or records that seem to disagree with the version of history people see today. Whether these items are simple mistakes or something much more unusual, they continue to fuel one of the biggest mysteries surrounding the Mandela Effect. One of the most talked about examples involves everyday objects. Some people claim they have found old videotapes, books, and product packages that appear different from the versions seen today. They report finding copies of the Berenstain Bears spelled with the letters EI instead of the official spelling with AI.
So you're telling me the Fruit of the Loom logo never had a cornucopia? Because this is what I remember, a cornucopia that has been burned into my brain.
Others believe they have seen Fruit of the Loom packaging showing a cornucopia behind the fruit, even though the official logo has never included one. Some also claim to have discovered old bottles of Febreze with an extra first E in the name. These discoveries are often shared online as possible evidence that something has changed. Not everyone agrees with these claims. Some people believe the objects are simply printing mistakes, unofficial copies, or products made by different manufacturers. Others think they are ordinary errors that have become more noticeable because people are searching for proof of the Mandela Effect. Even so, those who believe in residue argue that these objects are more than simple accidents. They see them as small pieces of an earlier version of reality that somehow remained behind. Historical records are another source of debate. Some people point to old newspapers stored on microfilm that mention events or famous lines differently from modern records. Others say they have found home videos or written documents that appear to conflict with today's accepted version of history. These examples often become popular discussion topics because they seem to challenge official records, even when there are possible explanations for the differences. One story that received attention came from a Reddit user who claimed to own a road atlas printed in the 1990s. According to the post, the map showed South America sitting almost directly beneath North America instead of farther to the east, where modern maps place it. Many people who already believed the continent had changed found this claim especially interesting. However, stories shared online are not the same as verified evidence, and they should be treated carefully. Supporters often call these unusual objects reality anchors. They believe these items have remained unchanged while everything else around them appears different. To them, these objects act like reminders of an earlier version of reality. Whether they are books, maps, labels, or old recordings, they are seen as physical clues that something unusual may have happened. Others simply view them as ordinary mistakes that become more meaningful because people are already expecting to find them. Some discussions also focus on official records. People occasionally notice dates, documents, or archived information that appear slightly different from what they remember. In many cases, experts explain these differences as simple recording mistakes, updates, or copying errors. Even so, supporters of the Mandela Effect believe these inconsistencies suggest that history may not be as fixed as people assume. They argue that if reality changes, small details could easily remain out of place. Up to this point, many explanations for the Mandela Effect have focused on memory, psychology, or unusual scientific ideas. However, another theory asks a very different question. What if these strange memories are not accidents at all? What if someone is intentionally creating them? This idea has become one of the most controversial theories surrounding the Mandela Effect. Some researchers and conspiracy theorists have suggested that people may be taking part in a large experiment involving human perception. They point to real historical programs that studied behavior, public opinion, and psychological influence. Programs such as the Central Intelligence Agency's MKUltra and Operation Mockingbird are well-documented examples of past efforts involving psychological research and media influence. Because these programs existed, some people wonder whether modern experiments could also be taking place. However, there is no evidence linking these historical programs to the Mandela Effect. According to this theory, the experiment would begin with very small changes. A company logo, a cereal box, or a famous movie line could be enough to measure how people react. If only a few notice the difference, the idea could spread further through conversations and online discussions. Supporters believe this could reveal how easily large groups of people question or reshape their own memories. Still, this remains speculation rather than established fact. Social media has added another layer to the discussion. Platforms such as TikTok, Reddit, and X allow ideas to spread to millions of people within hours. As more users repeat the same memory, others may begin questioning their own recollections. Some theorists even suggest that artificial intelligence could study these reactions to understand how people think and remember. There is no proof that this is happening, but the idea continues to spark debate. Is the Mandela Effect really true? What if the mystery goes much further? If reality could somehow change, many people wonder why those changes would stop at small details. They ask whether much larger events could also be different from the way some people remember them. While there is no evidence that history has actually changed, this question continues to inspire endless discussion. Some people believe they remember major historical events unfolding in completely different ways. They describe memories of important moments that do not match today's history books. Others claim they remember certain political leaders dying years earlier than official records show. These memories often feel just as real as memories of everyday life, making them difficult for people to ignore. Even though these claims cannot be verified, they remain some of the most talked about stories within Mandela Effect communities. Online groups have become places where people compare these unusual memories. Members sometimes describe remembering different outcomes for well-known events, including the attacks of September 11th, the assassination of President John F. Kennedy, or the Challenger space shuttle disaster. These discussions usually involve people who sincerely believe their memories are accurate. However, sharing the same memory does not necessarily mean the event happened that way. Human memory can be influenced by many different factors, especially after years of conversations and repeated stories. One unusual example involves a man named Thomas Whitmore. Some people claim they clearly remember him serving as a president of the United States. They even describe detailed memories involving government decisions, cabinet members, and television reports. The surprising fact is that no president by that name has ever existed. Many people believe this memory may have been influenced by the fictional president Thomas Whitmore from the movie Independence Day, played by Bill Pullman. Even so, those who remember him insist their memories feel much more detailed than a simple movie character. Geography is another area where people believe larger changes may have happened. Some remember the country of Ceylon still existing today, instead of being known as Sri Lanka. Others believe New Zealand was once located to the northeast of Australia, instead of the southeast. A few people even claim they remember visiting towns or cities that cannot be found on any modern map. While maps and official records do not support these memories, they continue to appear in conversations about the Mandela Effect. For many people, these stories raise an interesting question. If so many people can remember small details differently, could larger memories also be affected? Supporters of the Mandela Effect argue that if reality were somehow changing, there would be no reason for only tiny details to shift. They believe that larger historical events could also be altered, even if most people never notice the difference. This idea remains a theory without evidence, but it has become one of the most debated parts of the Mandela Effect. Others believe these experiences show how powerful the human mind can be. Memories are not perfect recordings of the past. Instead, they are rebuilt every time people remember them. Over many years, memories can be shaped by conversations, television, books, news reports, and the internet. Because of this, many experts believe that people can honestly remember the same event differently without anyone deliberately changing history. Still, the biggest questions continue to capture people's imagination. If someone can remember a logo differently today, what would happen if tomorrow they remembered an important event in a completely different way? Would they trust their own memory? Or would they accept what official records say? These questions have no simple answers, but they keep the mystery alive for people around the world. Some theorists believe the Mandela Effect is leading towards something much bigger. They imagine that the small examples people notice today could be early signs of a much larger change. According to this idea, reality itself could eventually experience a major shift that affects history, places, people, and everyday life. There is no scientific evidence supporting this belief, but it continues to appear in many discussions because it offers a dramatic explanation for shared memories. Others suggest that any major change may have already happened, and what people experience now are simply lingering memories that do not perfectly match the present. They believe the Mandela Effect may not be the event itself, but the feeling left behind after something has already changed. If you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe, and also click the next video shown on your screen.